Today's video is sponsored by Seagate. Stay tuned to learn more and enter the giveaway down below for a chance to win a storage expansion card for Xbox Series X and S.
Macca's Guides.
Hey everyone, Macca here, and today we're going over the easiest games on Xbox Game Pass for achievements and Gamerscore. Maybe you're in a competition with a friend, maybe you're going for the Gamerscore leaderboard positions, or maybe there is a future Gamerscore challenge for Microsoft reward points. Either way, I'll show you the best games to boost your Gamerscore with on Game Pass. As always, I have kind of split this video up into a couple of different chunks. The first one being the top 10 easiest games on the service. Then I talk about games under 5 hours, under 10 hours, some real gems of games that aren't too hard. And at the end, there's also a PC section, which you do not need a good PC for. So stay tuned. I do think there will be some good information throughout the entire video for everyone. So the first thing we're going to do is go through the top 10 easiest games in order from the easiest to the 10th easiest. So let's get started by going in alphabetical order. Every time we make this video, the list gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And since the last time I made a video, EA Play got added into Game Pass, so there's just more games than ever. I think there's like 300 or 400 for me personally, but it does really depend on where you live. The easiest game on the service, no doubt, this hasn't changed, although there are a lot of changes. This is not one of them. The easiest game is Surviving Mars. You can get 1,000 Gamerscore in this game in literally 5 minutes by using the developer in-game approved mods. I have a video on exactly how that works. Make sure you read the comments in the video so that you know which mods to download, as the approved mod kind of constantly changes. But you install this game, you make an account, you install a mod, and the achievements all automatically unlock. You can even buy the season pass and then get 1,500 instead of 1,000 Gamerscore, and you can actually stack this on the PC version. I'll talk about that a little bit later. Then next up, another game we can get an easy 1,000 in, and what I believe is the second easiest game is Subnautica, taking about 30 or maybe 40 minutes, and this one is also going to use admin console commands to make the game as quick and easy as possible. I have a video guide for this available. Now next up, we have one of the newest games in Game Pass, and we're going to go all the way up to the C's, and that is Conan Exiles. Let me find it here. We'll take a little bit of time, but Conan Exiles, you get 1,000 Gamerscore in this game in about 40 to 45 minutes. The only catch is that you will need a friend for an online achievement for like literally 3 to 5 minutes at the very, very end of the video. I have a video guide available for this one. This is the third easiest game in my opinion. Another new game to the list is Doom 64. So Doom 64 was a pre-order bonus if you bought Doom Eternal, I believe, and this is a port of the N64 version of Doom. It has slightly different levels and a couple changes, but I do have another video available for this guide for this game, and I believe it'll take you about an hour with that video, assuming you follow through. Another pretty cool game worth experiencing a little bit of Doom history with the recent acquisition of all the Bethesda games also being added to Game Pass. Not only do we have EA Play, now we have all of the Bethesda catalog too. Now next up, I'm going to talk about Donut County, and Donut County is a 1 to 2 hour completion. I don't mean to toot my own horn, but I have another video guide available for this one, and I think most people are going to do it right in that hour and a half. It's a really fun game. It works like Katamari Damacy. You play a hole in the ground and you just swallow up things to grow bigger and bigger. Then what we're going to do is the next game we're going to go for is The Gardens Between. So again, we're going to learn our alphabet every time we make this video. So in the G's, The Gardens Between, another 1 to 2 hour game. It's a puzzle game. I have a video guide again, not to toot my own horn. You can follow that one, or you can find someone else's, but I think mine happens to be pretty good. It's a very cool, different style puzzle game. You've probably never played anything like it. High quality and definitely worth experiencing, and you can grab a lot of achievements along the way. Another new game is Little Acre, or The Little Acre, and it's kind of new to Game Pass and also an easy completion, but it involves maybe a little bit more skill than some of the other games, as there is an achievement for speedrunning the game in under 1 hour. I have a video that will take you step by step and explain everything you need to know about this game, but it is maybe a little bit more involved. You'll need to pay a lot more attention than some of the other videos on my channel. So I believe that is number 7, which would make number 8 Full Throttle Remastered, which is going to be obviously in the F's somewhere around here. Full Throttle Remastered. This is a Tim Schafer game. Xbox recently got Double Fine, so they inherited some of the old Double Fine games, including Full Throttle being the easiest one of them all. I recently posted a video. This game will probably take you about an hour and a half if I had to guess. Now, next up at number 9 is a game I don't think most of you expect, and there is a very specific reason why, but it is in the D's, at the very beginning of the D's, and that is the game DayZ. Now, you're probably thinking, dude, DayZ takes like 60 hours. What are you even talking about? Now, there is a very specific strategy, and I'm going to recommend that you go to trueachievements.com, look up DayZ, and then go to their forum, or I'll leave a link in the YouTube description down below. But there is a community of gamers on there who have opened up a Discord server for this game where you can go in and get the achievements in about 1 hour. The only thing that they ask you to do is go to their Discord, sign up, and get your gamer tag whitelisted. You can then go to the server and complete this game in literally 1 hour. And last but not least, taking up the number 10 spot in the easiest 10 games is in the A's, and that is going to be Ark Survival Evolved. You can actually get more than 1,000 in this because there is DLC expansion that is free, so I think you can get 1,500. My video for this game is like 30-40 minutes, but I believe it takes a lot longer just because there's a lot of copy pasting and it's a kind of a glitchy game, so I think most people clock in around an hour and a half. Before we continue, a quick word from today's sponsor, Seagate, and their storage expansion card for Xbox Series X and S. Hopefully you already know about it, but it's a lifesaver and I've been using one since it came out. It's designed in partnership with Xbox to seamlessly play your Xbox Series X and S games without any sacrifices, and the 1 terabyte size allows you to expand your library significantly. It's the only available expansion card that replicates Xbox Velocity architecture to provide the fastest loading times, optimized game support, and it works with features like Quick Resume. It even comes with a 3-year warranty. Make sure you click the links in the description to learn more. Additionally, we've partnered for a giveaway where one lucky person will win a storage expansion card, so make sure you enter that as well. Thanks. Now, in this next section of the video, I'm going to recommend games under 5 hours that are not in the 10 easiest games, and there are 12 games in this category. Some of these games are really, really good, by the way. And we're going to start all the way near the bottom of the list. One of my favorite games of all time. I tell you this every time I make this video, and that is What Remains of Edith Finch. What a beautifully spectacular game. I'm so happy it's on Game Pass. You should play this whether you want the Gamerscore or not. You will need a guide if you want to get all of it done at once. But truly a spectacular game you should experience. Then another game under 5 hours is Day of the Tentacle, another Double Fine Tim Schafer experience, a point-and-click adventure game from the, I believe it's from the 90s, maybe the 80s even. No, not the 80s, probably the 90s, I want to say. It's an old game. It's a point-and-click adventure. You can probably get it done in under 3 hours. Then a game that I will probably be making a video for really, really soon, but it's all the way near the end here, and it is for the game Undertale. Last time I asked you guys if you wanted a video for The Tourist, and there was an overwhelming response of yes in the comments. Today I'm going to ask you if you want a guide for Undertale. I assume there's going to be a decent response for people wanting a video for Undertale, so that is probably on the way. You can pretty much guarantee it, but if you let me know in the comments down below, I'll try to get it out as soon as possible. This game's going to be under 3 hours as long as you follow a guide. Then we have the Bard's Tale ARPG remastered and re-snarkled. That's going to be near the B's. So it's going to be this game right here. You can use console commands to make this game super duper easy, but even with console commands, it'll take you around 3 hours. Keep that in mind. But you can play that one if you are interested in a point and click. I believe it's a point and click game, and admin commands make it a lot easier than it should be. Then we have a new inclusion from EA Play, and that is NHL Rewind 94 LMNOP. So it's going to be in the ends. NHL Rewind 94. There we go. We found it. You can get this game done in about 3 hours, maybe 2 hours, depending on how well you know the rules of hockey and how well you are able to follow specific tips and tricks from either online solutions or whatever. Then we have a video that I recently made, maybe one of my more recent full game walkthroughs, and that's going to be in the T's. And that is for the game called The Tourist. Where did it go? A great, phenomenal game. You can get it done in about 2.5 hours. It's an action-adventure-ish puzzle game. and it's one of the coolest experiences I've had personally on Xbox. It's also one of the few titles that's Xbox Series X enhanced, and it is, I think, the only game on the console that you can actually play in 8K if you have the appropriate television to support 8K. Then we have The Sims 4, which will be up here in the S's. The Sims 4, another EA Play game. You will have to follow a guide for this and use some pre-built achievement levels, but it'll take you around 3 hours for this one as well. Another game next up, still under 5 hours, we have Genesis Noir. If you want a video guide for this, please let me know in the comments down below. I'll try my best to get one out as soon as possible. Genesis Noir is a kind of abstract puzzle game that you can get done in around 3 or 4 hours. Then what we have is we're going to go down to the S's and find, don't worry, the categories after this are in alphabetical order, by the way. In the S's, we have Sea of Solitude. So another water-based game, a lot of water-based games, and Sea of Solitude can be done in around 3 hours, maybe 4 hours with a guide. It's a pretty cool, interesting idea. It's not the greatest game ever, but it's an interesting concept, and it's good enough and unique enough that I enjoyed experiencing it, and you may as well, especially if you get some easy gamer score along the way. From one water-based game to another, we're going to go up to sea, and we're going to find Call of the Sea. And that's going to be somewhere around here. Where is it? There we go. Call of the Sea, a puzzle game. I have a video guide for this, and it'll take you around probably realistically 4 hours to complete. It's a first-person puzzly game with a lot of mystery. Then we go from that, we go just one row down to Carto, a puzzle game that takes 5 hours, and I've heard a lot of good things about it, but I have not yet played it personally. And the last game under 5 hours, in my opinion, in my point of view, is going to be in the G, and that is our Goat Simulator game. This game's been in Game Pass, I think, longer than any other game. You can get 1,000 gamer score in around 4 hours, but then there are a lot of DLC and expansion packs, so it's up to you about whether you want to buy those or not, and you can get more and more gamer score the longer and longer you play. But if you're just looking for quick and easy gamer score, you can get a lot done in Goat Simulator very, very quickly. Now for the final category of the video, I'm going to go alphabetically in order and point out every easy game that's under 10 hours or any of the games that are really good and worth your time. This is kind of a little bit of a lightning round. We're going to be going pretty quick through them. And the first game I would recommend is Bleeding Edge. It's an online multiplayer game where you use heroes. If you have a couple of friends, you can get this one done in about 8 hours. Then we have Carry On, another game where you can get it done in about 8 hours, maybe even less if you follow through with a guide. It is a side-scrolling Metroidvania game. Then we have the game Control, which is just a fantastic game and only takes around 20 hours. And the achievements and trophies, if you were to play it on PlayStation, are pretty easy. So a recommendation there. Then we have Costume Quest 2, a Halloween-themed game. You know, it is June, but maybe later on in the year, you'll be in that Halloween mood. Get this game done in right around 6 hours if you're really quick, or 10 hours if you really want to take your time with it. Then we have Crisis, the first one. You can get this game done. It's a 360 port, but you can get it done in around 15 hours if you are interested. We then go down to G, and this game is not going to be too easy, but it is pretty quick if you are willing to, stay patient and try your best. And that is Golf with Your Friends, an 8 or so hour completion, and you can stack it on the Windows PC if you want. Then we have Grim Fandango Remastered, 5 or 6 hours for this classic game in order to get your 1,000. Then we have Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. I've recommended this game so many times. I don't know how many more times I can talk about it. Really great game. You're just going to play through the story, grab all the collectibles, which I have a guide for. It'll take you around 6 hours, and you'll be done before you know it. Then we have Hello Neighbor, which is not an easy completion, but definitely doable in under 10 hours. We're then going to skip forward to the M's, and we have 2 Madden games that are not that hard. Madden NFL 20 and Madden NFL 21, and we have Madden NFL 21 2 times here, one for the Xbox One, one for the Xbox Series X or S. We can get both of these Madden games done in under 10 hours, assuming you know a little bit about the rules of football, and maybe you have to be willing to follow some instructions about how to set up your game with certain settings and certain player stats. We then have a new game added to Game Pass, Man Eater. It's a really great game. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and it is pretty short and sweet, coming in around 10 hours if you want to do everything in it. We then have a game that came out exclusively for the Series X and S, and that is The Medium. This one came out in January. I have a video guide for it, as you will need to not only play through the story, which is around 8 to 10 hours, but you'll need to grab all the collectibles along your way. We then have a game that is not easy, but can be done quickly, and that is Morkred. This game can be done in under 6 hours if you find yourself skillful at these types of games. We then go into the O's, and we have Observer, which will be Observation, rather. This is a space station game where you play the AI of the space station, and you kind of switch between monitors and figure out, I think it's a little bit of a mystery, a little bit of a horror game. It was a PlayStation exclusive for a while, but it came to Xbox. We then have a new game called Outriders. It's just a good game. It will take you 40 to 50 hours. But like I said, I wanted to recommend a couple of gems as I talked about games here, and I think this is one of them. It's a pretty good game, and I think you could enjoy it. It's in the style of a third-person Destiny meets the Division game, in my opinion. Then we have Piku Niku. Piku Niku is a side-scrolling game by Devolver Digital, I believe, or they published it rather. 4 to 5 hours to beat this one if you know what you're doing, maybe a little bit longer if you don't. Then we have Plague Tale Innocence, just a fantastic game coming in at that 15-hour range. Highly recommend you play this one if you haven't, whether you want to get it for Gamerscore or just play to enjoy it. We then have Quantum Break, 15 hours for this one. You'll beat the game on hard, but the game, once you know what you're doing, it's only like 3 or 4 hours long, honestly. Rain on Your Parade, a really recent introduction to Game Pass. It was an extremely easy 1000 gamer score in 2 to 3 hours. Unfortunately, some patches were made that made the game significantly harder, now clocking in around 5 hours, and realistically, also involving a little bit of skill now. We then have another neighbor game in the vein of Hello Neighbor, and that game is Secret Neighbor. Secret Neighbor can be done in 5 or more hours. I don't know too much about it. I'm not sure if this is the multiplayer one, so you might need some friends or you might need to boost to get it done quickly, but I do know this one isn't too hard. We then have another, we'll call it gem, and that is Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order, a really great showcase game if you do have an Xbox Series X or S as well. Then we're going to go into the T's, and we're going to find Tell Me Why. Tell Me Why chapters 1 to 3 only take around 7 hours, maybe total. You can get 1000 gamer score, but you will need a video guide, which I have obviously made, but a pretty cool Life is Strange style game. Then just under that, we have Titanfall 2, one of the best games, one of the best single-player experiences in the last couple of years, especially for an FPS. You will have to beat the game on hard, and there are a couple of challenging achievements. There's also some collectibles, but you'll just play through the single-player campaign on hard, grab the collectibles, and within 15 hours or less, you should have your 1000 gamer score. A little bit under that, we do have Unravel 1, which is not easy, but a game worth experiencing if you haven't played it. And we have Unto the End. Unto the End, side-scrolling game. It can be done in as little as 4 hours, but the reason it's in this later category in the video is because it does involve a decent amount of skill and patience, as it is, I believe, a roguelike game, or at least it does have some kind of form of permanent death, I believe, so could be a little bit harder for some. Then we have The Walking Dead, A New Frontier. We're going to be doing this one. It's a Walking Dead Telltale game for 10 hours. The Walking Dead Michonne, episode 1, 2, 3, is around 6 hours. Walking Dead Season 2, around 10 hours. And The Walking Dead Complete Season 1 is around 12 hours. All of these are incredibly easy. You just have to actually sit through the games and play them if you want. We then continue, and we have another EA Play game, and this is A Way Out, one of my favorite games the year it came out. It's really great. It's only going to take you maybe 5 hours if you're really quick, 8 hours if you're going a little long. You can also play it. It has to be played in co-op, so make sure you get someone you like and play with them for a while to get that completed. And the last game in this category for now is Wolfenstein: The New Order, I believe. So the Wolfenstein: The New Order, I believe, is 12 hours, and I believe the Old Blood is 15 hours. So you can get both of those Wolfenstein games done pretty quickly. Don't worry about Young Blood, and don't worry about Wolfenstein 2. those games are not going to be as easy. So we are now here on my PC. I've opened up the Xbox app, and you definitely want to stick around even if you don't have a great computer, as most of these don't require, any sort of graphics card or anything crazy like that. Now, the first game I would recommend is Surviving Mars. I talked a little bit about this game when we were on the console, but you can basically do the same thing for an extra completion on the PC, as there is a different list for the PC achievements as for the Xbox achievements. You can get another 1,000 or another 1,500. Next up, what we're going to do is I'm going to recommend a couple of more games that require mods. The first one being Pillars of Eternity 2, Deadfire Ultimate Edition on PC. You'll want to go on trueachievements.com, look up this game, and go to their forums for instructions on exactly what to do. But you would basically install the game. You'll have some options here. You can enable mods, install a mod, and then automatically unlock all of the achievements within about 5 minutes. Another game where you can do that is called Mount and Blade. And it's going to come up here, I hope. We'll just type in Mount and Blade Warband PC. Another game where you can click those 3 buttons, enable mods, install the mods. And again, you'll want to go on trueachievements.com, find this game, go to their forums for more information. I'll leave some links down below if you want to know exactly how to do that. There's another game that does have developer-supported in-game mods that unlock achievements, and that game is Starbound. Another game that will take you about 5 minutes once you install it, enable mods, install those mods. You'll just load up, and they basically unlock right away. Xbox and the Gamerscore community has deemed that as long as the mods are supported by the dev and available in-game without manipulating any files outside of regular installation, you are good to go. So in case you're wondering, you will not be banned for doing these. And then last but not least, in terms of the really easy stuff, we have Don't Starve Giant Edition. This also has an additional 1,000 gamer score you can get in about 7 or 8 minutes. You will need to use in-game cheats for this. And again, I would recommend trueachievements.com and for this, I would recommend following through with my video on the topic. Next up, we are going to do Five Nights at Freddy's 2. This one specifically only, though. There will be a couple that show up here. Maybe I'll put a 2 in the name here. And the reason we want to do this one is because this one has in-game cheats that we can kind of use in order to get 1,000 gamer score in about 20 to 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes, as it does involve a little bit of luck. But this is a really easy game you can use cheats for, and I do have a video for this as well. Next up, what we can do is Age of Empires Definitive Edition, the first one in the trilogy. This one's going to take you about 1 or 2 hours if you're doing it for the first time, or if you've done the old one, you can just load this one up and get all the achievements right away. We're going to be using in-game cheats for that if you are interested. Now, the next couple games are either stacks from games I've already talked about, or just really easy, but not too easy, and they're just going to be regular game completions. So Valhalla Cyberpunk Bartender Action is a 3 to 4 hour game you can do if you want. Next up, we have Call of the Sea. This is a game that I recommended earlier on. You can do it on Xbox, but you can also do it on PC for a separate stackable achievement list. It's going to take you around 4 or 5 hours, but it'll obviously be faster on your second time through if you've already done it. Another game that has that same theme is Carto. We talked a little bit about it. Has a Windows 10 stack, only takes about 5 hours, and it's going to be pretty fast if you've already done it. Another game in that same vein is Hellblade Senua's Sacrifice. 5-6 hours. Obviously, if you do it on the Xbox, you can do it faster on the PC. It's just a full game playthrough with all the collectibles. Then what we can do is Age of Empires 3 Definitive Edition. This is a 6-hour-ish completion, which you can do if you use some of the in-game cheats and just follow along with a guide. It is a little bit longer and more involved, but it is possible there as well. And then last but not least, I will recommend Golf with Your Friends because it is a stack. And if you do it on Xbox, doing it again on PC is pretty easy because you kind of learn exactly what you need to do and you get really good at the game really quickly. So you can get another 1,000 gamer score on the Windows 10 version of this game if you want. Those are the 13 easiest PC-only Game Pass games, in my opinion. Thank you so much for watching the video. I hope it was helpful. A super special thank you to everyone on Patreon, including Zarias and Puffy Vince. I'll see you soon. Peace.